Hey, I'll fix it here. Hey, I got a plant stand that I built. I'm gonna build another one for you. I got this idea from another channel called Bearded Viking. Awesome channel, but he made a mistake. I'll show you the mistake and we'll build one. Stay with me. I made this. I followed the Bearded Viking, which I love his channel, but he screwed up on this one. And it was a great project anyway, but he said you could take a 10-foot 1x8 and make 2 of these. Nope. So here's the problem. I followed his steps exactly, although I don't have the same tools that Bearded Viking has. He has, you know, a table saw and a brad gun. I don't have those, but I made it anyway, and it worked. But here's the problem. When I made it out of one 10-foot 1x8, this is what I had left over. Now, to make another one, first thing he says is to cut a 2-foot piece. You know, you got a 2-foot piece. That goes to there, and then another 2-foot piece. That puts us up all the way to here. That means this is all we got left for the top and the bottom. Nope, cannot do. Sorry. Bearded Viking, you screwed up, man. I still like your channel. It's awesome. So here's the answer. In order to make one of these, if you want to make just one, buy a 6-footer, and then you got 2-foot, 4-foot, the top and the bottom, and a little left over, and it's just right to make one. So that's what I'm going to do right now to make my other one. I'm going to use a 6-footer and show you how I do it without all those fancy tools. How about if I just make it right here off the back of the van for you with limited tools to show you it can be done. It's not the easiest project without those tools, but we can do it. So the leftover piece I had from here, I'm going to put it off to the side. We're going to go with a new plan and make one out of a 6-foot piece and see how that goes with a limited, actually no shop, and limited tools. Okay, what I'm going to be using is some Ryobi tools. I've got the Ryobi drill and the driver, and I've got a little skill saw here. And instead of the brad nails that you know, the Bearded Viking uses, I'll probably use a 1 5/8 inch long drywall screw, which is made for wood, metal, or stud, whatever. Or what I did on the first one actually is I used some of these. It's a 1 5/8 deck screw, and they work really nice. It has the other kind of head though. If you have the thing for that, then go for it. Otherwise, use these, they work just fine. So the first thing we do is cut off 2 feet. Let's make a mark. Be sure to get yourself one of these or some kind of a thing to make a nice straight line. I'm just gonna go out here to 2 feet. 2 feet, right there. And then whack it off here with this, I really like this little Ryobi thing, but actually I need a bigger battery for it, I think. It sucks a lot of power. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, now I'm just going to use this to measure the next one, because it's going to take 2 of these, lined up nicely. Mark off another 2-foot piece. Alrighty. Oh, I need my foot up here to hold this. Okay. And here we go. Okay. Oof, I'm too old for this. Okay, we should have 2-foot pieces. You know, that's going to be those things there. This is going to be plenty to make our top and our bottom. Very nice. First thing he does is actually rips these, so we got to do that yet. We got our pencil, and this little thing here. He says to cut these 6 1/4 inches. So what I'm going to do is actually just set this little gizmo here, the tri-square, and I'm going to set it at 6 1/4, and then I'm going to put it on the edge here, see, like that, and then I just run it right down. I get my mark, if I just follow this thing. Okay, we got our nice mark right down the side now. Let's do that over here too. Well, hold on here. Let me hold it with my legs. See, we don't have a shop with all kinds of neat things to hold things. I noticed the bearded Viking, he stuck this down on a counter with double-sided tape. I don't even have a counter to do that with. No problem, we're gonna do this. This is what we have, this is what we use. No problem. Be happy. What is that song? Something like that. Don't worry, be happy. That's what it is. Don't worry, be happy. Okay, we're gonna do this without a table saw. Yeah, just us primitive measures here. I'm gonna use this thing right here. Yeah, I'm not gonna hit anything there, I guess. Let's try it. See what happens. Hey, 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 let's see how we did. You know what? That looks reasonably straight, you know. Maybe not as good as a table saw, but by golly, we got it. Hey, it looks nice to me. I mean, good enough, good enough. We can do this. Well, that worked good enough that I'm gonna do it again. See, I'm not gonna cut into my van or something. No, okay. All right, let's try this. Woo! There's another one. We're gonna need a straight edge. I got a ruler. It's a metal one. You could use a wood one, whatever you think. It's just like a yardstick. It is. Yeah, 1 yardstick. Okay, so we're gonna go from corner to corner and make a line. See, it's a little tricky, but you know what? We can be a little tricky too. We can do this. Hey, there's an old nightstand thing right there. Might even make a better, that might even make a better workbench. Let me try this. Oh, by the way, see this thing I made yesterday? That was an awesome little project out of just a 2x4. And that was great. It's like $5 of materials and you got a little step stool. Nice. Look at this old drawer thing here. It's a throwaway, but hey, I can use it. I can use it for now to make one of these things. Kind of a workbench deal. Yeah, awesome. What about that? Not very strong, but we make do with what we got. I took this old dresser thing that was a throwaway item. And we're a MacGyver here. We're going to use whatever's available. And there's a little bit of a lip here, so I'm using that to kind of do a little clamp job there. Voila! Let's see. Oof. Corner to corner. Here we go. Oh, I hit my clamp there. We got to take the clamp off. So what I can do is just hold it on here and keep going. Hey, look at there. Nice. Okay, we're going to do that with the other board too. Make a mark, corner to corner. What about over here? Put this out here. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that'll work. Does this fit in there? No, it don't fit in there. Too bad. Screw that. Let's just hold it up here and do it. What else can we do? Heck, just hold it up here and do it. Watch you out. You don't do anything dangerous. Lay out your pieces like this. So you got the wide one on the right. Take this up, right up there like that, and line it up with the top and make this edge flush and glue this on. So I'm getting my glue ready. So both of these are going to do that. See, it's going to go up like that. Well, like that. Now, if this isn't a nice straight line, you're going to have this thing rocking around. So you know now if you got the straight line or not. This is reasonable. It's going to work. Not perfect, but it'll work. So now we're going to just add a dab of glue, as he would say. Let's see, how does this work now? You just start gluing and you have to sing, add a dab of glue, add a dab of glue. Okay, Bearded Viking, you win. You can sing it better than I can. Hey, I guess, you know what? You probably need a nice beard like that or something to make to be able to sing it the way he does. See? We got a dab of glue on there, and we're gonna just stick it on here like so. And we got a rag here to wipe off the excess glue, because I'm always making a mess. I'm good at making messes. Ask anybody. So now, at this point, he pops a brad in his ass, you know? So we don't have a brad gun. We are going to pre-drill a hole and put a screw in there. Here, I'll show you on this one. Here's where we did that. Right here, and here, and here. And you can see, even though we put screws in instead of a brad, you know, it looks nice. It doesn't look bad. That's what we're gonna do. Let's see now if I can do this without any way of clamping or anything. I'm just gonna hang on to it like so. And I'm going to take my drill and I'm gonna go in here with a pre-drill right here in the middle, and it's gonna hold things together for me. Yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna use this 1 5/8 deck screw right there. And whoops, I need a battery for my drill. Come on now. Okay, now I'm going to put that right in there. Oh yeah, that's gonna hold things nicely for me. Heck, that's working good. I might be able to sink that in to make it flush. Let's see what happens. Oh, it did nicely too. Get it just enough to where that it's nice and flush. Now I'm gonna put 2 more in. I'm gonna put one out here somewhere. Make sure you aim this thing right. And add another screw, add another screw. Oh, I guess that's the wrong song. Is it flush yet? Is it flush? Oh yeah. Man, this is working good. Okay, but you see, you just gotta kind of like hold everything and do it because we don't have a brad gun. Okay, I'm gonna go down through here somewhere. Whoops, that's too far down. Here. Heck yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, now do you see how that just sucked it right together with that glue in there coming out on the edge and everything? So I'm going to wipe that glue off of there. That's looking pretty darn good there with those 3 deck screws. Now, you could easily use these, you know, just sheetrock screws. It would be fine. 1 5/8 or so, just to hold that together instead of brad nails. Why not? Heck yeah. So, you know, it worked good on this one. Why not? So we're gonna do the same thing with this one. Take the wide side over on this right and hold it right up onto there. And same deal, yeah. See, I don't sing it right, it doesn't come out right, you know. It's like, add a dab of glue, add a dab of glue, add a dab of glue, add a dab of glue. Yeah. Sorry, Bearded Viking, I'm probably screwing up your song. It doesn't sound as good as when you do it. I'll have to leave the song up to you, I guess. Okay, we're gonna line up the top mostly, and then this edge over here, so that it's flush on the edge. Flush all the way. Clean up some extra glue. What we're gonna do is hold it together. Now, while we hold this together, I don't know of any other way to do this, just hold it together. Hold it together! Okay, and then we're gonna put one in the middle and that'll hold it together. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, nice and flush there. Well, that worked so good. Let's do another one. Let's do one right down here. All right. Okay. See, that sucked it right up in there. Nice. Woo! Suck it up nice. Yeah. Okay. Now we'll do the third screw. Drill the hole. Now, I just noticed something. As I was drilling this, I noticed something very fishy about this. We don't want fishy. We want this. See, as I started, I was going to bury the head down flush, and I see a little crack starting to form on each side of that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that back out, and then I'm going to make a place for the head to go so that it doesn't split my wood. I'll show you how I do that. First of all, we'll take this back out. We don't want any splits going on here. We're not going to do the splits. So what we have to do is make this hole bigger just right on top where the head's going. And you can do that with a bigger drill bit, or I have a little thing made to do that. Okay, so here's the little thingy that I'm talking about. Look at that thing. It makes a special, just a little extra big right at the top, right where the head goes. You just buzz that in there a little bit. I'll show ya. Let's see if you can see me here. We're just gonna buzz this a little. I might do it. Let's see, we put this back in here now. And see, when we do this, if it comes back together. Whoops. Yeah, we went to flush. Oh, look at that. We actually came through just slightly on the bottom here, so what I'm going to do is just grind that off. The tiny little tit sticking up right there, I use this. It's a little angle grinder with a metal cutoff blade, and I just go a little bit right there, and it's done. It should be two pieces like this now. Alrighty, it's starting to shape up and look nice. Look at that. See, those screws look fine. Instead of brad nails, I mean, I know brad nails, you can hardly see them, but this looks okay. Hey, look, that one looks nice. You can do it without a brad nailer gun. We need a 15-degree bevel on this. What he does is he takes these pieces, you know, the way they were laying. We did the wide side over on there, and we glued that together. Now we need a 15-degree bevel up here without a table saw. Woo! What a trick. Okay, well, here we go. We got to do the best we can with what we got. So you're on the front of your skill saw, of your circular saw. There's a adjustment, and you can turn this, and there's a little mark over here, and you put the 15. Oh, I did it right there almost first try. Let's see. So what that does is gives us a little angle of the dangle, so that we can get that 15 degrees cut with a circular saw. Amazing, huh? It'll be amazing if we pull this off, yeah. Okay, now how do we do this? I don't know. You pay attention to which way you want the angle, because what we want is, we don't want a 15-degree angle this way. We want it this way. What I sometimes do, just to remind myself, I'll put a little mark back here, you know, the way I want it to go. So when I'm messing around with it, and I can remember which direction that angle needs to be. Okay, so now I cannot I cannot do it from up here because look, my saw is going to come over here and hit this thing. And believe me, this is an odd shaped piece of wood to be clamping in anything, on anything or whatever. So what we got to do is flip it over and then come at it from down here. And we're going to have to go off of this edge right here and make it happen. In order to get it to sit on something kind of flat, I'm going to take the corner of this table and lay this on here. And you remember the angle we want is this way. So I'm going to just stick it on the corner of this table, slide it out here, and I'm going to wing it with this. So in order to help me, what I did was I went in like almost a ½ inch and made a line. And that line is going to line up pretty much right with this line where I look for where the saw blade is going to go at the top. This line. So yeah, it's going to be, maybe I can show you. It's going to look like this. Remember, we got our 15 degrees set down here. Come up here on this edge and see if it works. Well, I think I did it. I hope. Look at that. So we got a, yeah. See a 15 degree edge with just a circular saw. We can do it. Oh, by the way, what he does now is he flips it around and does one on the other side. So once again, so we're going to make a little mark down here just to help us, something to remind us. How can we do this side? We got the same problem or not, or what? Let's see, what can we do it this way? Oh yeah, we can do it just like that. I'm going to make my mark again right here, like a ½ inch in, inch, go across here. Oh yeah. There it is. Nice 15 degree angle. Angle of the dangle. Gonna go like that. Put that on there. Move this in a ½ inch for a guide. Whoop-dee-doo. Okay, stick it on there and away we go. Now, we're going to flip it over. Let's see, because it was this way. Now we're going to flip it over and do it this way, which means if we put it on here, that'll work just fine. ½ inch. Put the line on the board. Good enough, good enough. Here we go. All right, there's our angle. The leftover piece, since we cut both of these and everything, and then we still have a leftover piece, we need to cut, and I made a mark here at 7 1/4, and we also need 9 1/4. So that's going to be the top and the bottom. And yeah, so here we go. Whoops, don't forget, you had your saw set at 15 degrees, you got to put it back. Don't leave it at 15 degrees. Put it back to 0. Alrighty. Okay, next one is 9 1/4. Actually, I'm going to take it off of this end. Nice and square from the factory there. So we got our 7 1/4 and our 9 1/4, and that leaves us with this much left over. It's only 7 1/2 inches left over of scrap. So you see, a 6-foot piece is just about right to make one of these. Excelente! Now, what we want to do is do some sanding if you want to. Before we put the stuff together, it might be easier to do a little sanding like this. You should have 2 of these now, and a 7 1/4 inch one and a 9 1/4 inch one. And these are the 4 pieces. Now this is going to be the base, and this is going to be the top. So what we're going to do, set the top over off to the side. Right now we're going to bail with the base. Now, you see how this does this crossover thing? There's a little crossover thing right there. That means that's the top. And this one down here is the bottom. In fact, what I had to do is to look closely at this one to figure out what I was doing here, like that. Now at this point, you know, he goes, oh, let's put a couple of brads in his ass. Well, I don't have a brad gun. This is pretty tricky. So what we got to do is we got to take this thing and drill and screws. So what I'm going to do is hold this thing on this corner, and we're going to put a screw right up into there, right over here. There just isn't any easy way, really. You know, last time I stuck the end of it against something in the van to hold it from when I was drilling. I wonder if I could do that again. Yeah, I just put the end of it up against something in the van, and then hold this at the corner, and then drill my pre-drill. That's what I'm going to do. Once I get one corner done, then you can, you know, adjust this some more. So let's get that one corner done. This is the tricky thing. And then drill our hole right in through here. And now, look at these drywall screw things. Now, I think this is going to work all right. Hopefully. Yeah, I think I've lined it up pretty well. I'm going to give this a try. So precarious. Precarious, isn't it? All right, well, let's start this one in there. I went and got the Phillips bit. I'm going to stick this in part way. Whoops, not too far, just barely sticking out the bottom. And then we'll line it up again, precariously as it is. Okay. Ooh, that's so precarious. Yeah, precarious, precarious. It's hard to get it just right. Now, we didn't pop out anyway. I'm not tightening this all the way yet because I'm going to go ahead and get a second screw figured out here. If we can get a second one in, lined up with this edge, and then pre-drill something over here, like about here. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna make these heads go in flush. I'm not sure if I can do that like this, just sucking them in, or I have to take them back out and use that other little doohickey. I think I better use that other little doohickey. I'm going to fix this, the head of this thing with this little doohickey right here. Yeah. Now if I put the screw back in, easier to sink the head in to make it flush. Yeah, plenty good. I'm going to do that over here too. Take this out. Use a little tool here to buzz that. Okay. It's extra messing around, but if you want a good job and you want it to look nice, ow! Well, hopefully you guys will be safer than I am. There. Okay, now it should look it should look like this. Yeah, it should look like that. And then we're gonna put the other piece on, just like this. And then the top. So what I'm gonna do, what I've done is lay this down. I found that I stick my tape measure underneath of this thing over here on the table. It gives me about the right angle of the dangle to put this together. So then I put a little pre-drill thing here. I pre-drilled for this screw. Let's put the screw in the corner. Yeah. Okay, now make this as flush right along here. And try another pre-drill thing. Will be flush. And then we put another screw in here. Okay. Ta-da! Look at that. Now, we'll see if everything lines up good to put the top on. Oh, look at this now. You see how this is rocking around a little bit? When you pick out your board at the big box store, try to get a board that doesn't do that. When you pick out a board, a lot of times they have that, see that little bit of a whoop-de-doo to them, and that makes it hard. See, maybe I should have had flipped that around, but the other thing that I can do is take my belt sander and go across the bottom a little bit to flatten that a bit. Or maybe I'll flip it over. I could turn it over, take it off and turn it over. That could be good too. Now the way we can do the top, we get one corner lined up, pre-drill and put a screw in one corner over here. For the next one you have to like push and pull and tweak it in a little bit and then it'll work. Yeah, it's gonna work just fine. I have to tweak it just a little bit, but it has give. You know, it has a little bit of give to tweak it. See that far, no problem. Better to turn it over, then it doesn't rock around. So we had just enough left over from that 6-foot piece to make a new one of these. So that's what I did. I made a new one of those and I made sure that, you know, it was bowed this way instead of this way. So we don't have a rocking chair anymore. Look at that, it's nice and stable. Just line up both like that. Yipper, yipper. I run low on batteries here, so I'm switching like crazy here. It takes a bit, but I'm gonna get it. We line up everything. We send a pilot hole down through here. Pop a screw. Hey, yeah. You know how the bearded Viking says, and we're gonna pop a Brad in his ass. Well, we're gonna pop a screw in his ass. How about that? Oh yeah, now that corner is looking nice. Line this up, nice and flush here. Pop another screw in his ass. Yeah. All right. Okie dokie. Now, see, that side's done. Now you'll notice, see, it doesn't really match up good, so you just tweak it a little bit. Tweak this over here. Uh-oh, I think my microphones went dead again. I didn't notice that they needed charging or something. Anyway, here you go. Look at this. I'm using a clamp there. Because you have to tweak it a bit, sometimes you can just, you know, use a clamp to help hold things. And I don't know, I've mentioned this several times. I'm criticizing the bearded Viking in the nicest way, because I love his channel. I can't say this enough, that I actually really like his projects and his videos. And I'll probably be doing some more, maybe, I'll probably go through and pick some more. And you guys go to his channel. He's really awesome. And even though I'm finding a mistake, I'm sure that probably not going to find any more mistakes. He seems to really know what he's doing over there. Anyway, this is how I do this. All right, and there you go. See, all fixed up. Now you can see it. It's not flat. My boards are not flat, and try to get flat boards when you can. But also, you remember how we had to tweak it? Well, I'm wondering if when we tweak it, it doesn't also like warp the boards a little bit, because we're tweaking it so much. I've even thought of, I might try this with using a 2-inch thick piece on the bottom, on the base, and that way, no matter how much we tweak it and everything, it'll probably be easier to make it flat on the bottom first, so it won't wobble around. Anyway, there we have a nice pair of these things, and it's time to put a finish on them. And I just love this kind of finish where I just burn them a little bit. Now there is a finish called the what is that Japanese name, Shuga Buga, whatever it is, I don't know. But anyways, to really do that properly, you have to burn it a lot more than I do, and then it actually makes it a very protective finish. But I just burn it enough to make the grain come out really contrasting like this, and I just really like the effect. And as far as protection goes, put a finish on it, shellac or whatever you want to put on it to help protect it. I mean, this does help protect it some, but look at the way it pulls out the grain, and this kind of wood. You can take some cheap wood and make it look really nice. That's the deal. All right, I just love it. It's like therapeutic just to do this. Now look at how nice this is coming out. Isn't that beautiful? With traffic and wind and whatnot, I gotta quit. But I'll show you some finishes that I use. You can use this lacquer. It just brush it on, and it turns out really nice. And it's about the same thing as if you spray it with this shellac, and that works just fine. It works really good. And sometimes I'll use both, because I'll put one on and then let it dry and come back the next day or so and then put the other one on too. It won't hurt anything. I've done it, and it turns out just fine. All right, let's go back to the therapy. Now look at that. Doesn't that look nice? Just burning it like that brings out the grain and looks so good, even before I put any finish on it. And then when we give it a little spray, some shellac or something, it'll look even better. And I'm gonna have a nice pair to put in my living room. I'm making these for my house. And here I am spraying away, even though I'm outside. I don't have any mask or anything. So, don't be like this, dummy. It's probably a better idea to put on some protective gear whenever you're doing this kind of stuff. I don't really know how dangerous it is. And look at that dummy there, just spraying away, getting high on fumes or something. Don't do that. Don't do what I do. Okay, we did it. No, you cannot get 2 out of a 10-foot board unless you cut it a little shorter, maybe 21 inches instead of 24 inches on those first 2 cuts. So yeah, when you get your board, first thing he says, the bearded Viking, is cut them at 24 inches and another one 24 inches. No, make it like 21 inches. I think you could make it then. But anyways, and I'm going to try that. I'm going to see how that goes. For now, I love the Bearded Viking channel and I love his projects. You just screwed up a little bit on this one. Okay, this is Al Fixit 1000, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios. You know what to do. Ciao.